Hello everyone, Slothcakes here and welcome to another Gundam video. Now today I want to talk about the newly announced SD Gundam Battle Alliance, which was shown at the latest Nintendo Direct. Now today I just want to talk about the information we have, talk about the featured series, and mostly talk about speculations and things I want to see. So as for the information we have, most probably saw the Nintendo Direct trailer. However, if you go to the Bandai Namco YouTube channel, they have a completely different trailer that shows different information, so links of both of them will be down in the description. And obviously, it's coming out for the Switch since it was shown on Nintendo Direct. However, at the end of the Bandai Namco trailer, it's coming to every console, even PC and Steam. And as for release date, we're only told it's coming out this year, 2022. However, the Direct was mainly focusing on games coming out in the first half of this year, and if this game counts as that, we might be getting it a lot sooner than we think. And to briefly talk about the gameplay, I've heard people relate this to Gundam Breaker or Gundam Dynasty Warriors, and those aren't the best comparisons. I would say something like Gundam Crossfire, Zeta vs Gundam, or Federation vs Zeon. Those are much more in line. It just looks like it's a much more action, much more fast-paced version of those games. And if we look at the gameplay and the screenshots we have, the HUD looks very similar, so I feel like it's gonna have a similar vibe to these games. So next is what's with the SD aesthetic. Well, we never have a clear answer for this, but besides the marketable name brand and them being cute, there are a few reasons why they choose SD mobile suits over the normal size. And one could be simply they're just easy to make. An SD is much more compact and less detailed than the original mobile suit, making it a lot easier to animate it doing things like shoot, slash, and jump. Which in turn cuts down on time and lets that time be used on other things. And since the SD aesthetic is so similar with every mobile suit, it allows for reuse of animations and things like that, allowing you to cut down on even more time. Another reason could be the size. With so many mobile suits from different series, you have various height differences. You can have small mobile suits from Victory or G-Fighter, or just really big mobile suits from things like Double Zeta, Unicorn, or Char's Counterattack. And while there are games like the Extreme Versus series that have regularly proportioned mobile suits, that game is just a 2v2, while this one's gonna have enemies coming at you, and if you have so many height differences, it might cause a problem or just be a little disorienting. And also, if you guys look at the trailer, you gotta remember there's boss fights in this game. And I feel like sometimes people forget how big Big Zam actually is. So now let's go to the biggest questions and the most important part of this video. How many mobile suits are gonna be in this game? How many playable mobile suits are gonna be in this game? Well, we don't know. We haven't been given any number. Next is, well, is my favorite mobile suit gonna be in this? Well, again, I have no idea. I have no idea what your favorite mobile suit is. But finally, what are the featured series? Now, thankfully for you guys, I slowly went through both of the trailers multiple times, slowly looking at every single scene, picking out every mobile suit to see which series are shown. Then I went onto the official Nintendo page talking about this game, and they just listed all the featured series, so yeah, that was a lot of time wasted. So the first thing to know is that this featured series list is surprisingly large, and I know the SD Gundam games are known for having a large cast, however those are turn-based games, so it's a lot easier to put in more characters versus this game being an action RPG. Also, we have no idea how many reps from each series we're getting. We could in some cases only get like 2 playable mobile suits from one series, so do keep that in mind. Now I'm not going to read off every single series that's mentioned just because that would be boring, but I do want to get some points across. First thing is obviously UC is going to be the biggest rep, but we do have a very large range of UC, being from the original 079 all the way to Victory Gundam and basically everything in between. All the TV series, all the OVAs, the movies like Gundam Thunderbolt, Char's Counterattack, the other Char's Counterattack, Beltuchika's Child I think it's pronounced, it's the one with the Hainu and Nightingale, and finally F91 and to a lot of people's excitement, Gundam Crossbone. Now that is a very large rep for UC. And while I'm very excited for this cast, we don't see any of the mobile suit side stories like Blue Destiny, Zeonic Front, Cross Dimensions, and all that stuff. I don't know if those series are big enough to be labeled their own series, or they're just under the same umbrella of UC. But also, we're missing Hathaway's Flash, which is actually pretty surprising considering it's fairly popular and it's getting more movies. Now, if you're not the biggest fan of UC or it's not really your fancy, don't worry about that because we have a decent amount of AU series in this game. And when I say basically everything, I mean we have nearly every AU mainline series that's been animated. It's actually pretty shocking the amount of AU things in this game. So I do want to get a few points across, and I'm just going to show you guys the list as well so you can follow along. First things first, yes, Mobile Fighter G Gundam is a featured series. So yes, you're going to be able to punch the shit out of the enemy. You and I are both very excited. Next up is, to no one's surprise, we do have a decent amount of Seed. We're shown to have Seed, Seed Astray, Seed vs Astray, and Seed Destiny. So we do have a large pool of Seed. Not only that, with Gundam 00, it is also lists Gundam 00 the movie, Awakening the Trailblazer. Now on the other end, we do have Gundam Wing listed, but we do not have Endless Waltz listed. And I don't think it's gonna be in it and just merged with the Gundam Wing name, considering with things like Seed and 00, the other things were listed off as their standalone featured series. So if you were a fan of Endless Waltz, I'm sorry about that. And the last thing I want to talk about the featured series is the lack of Gundam Age. Now, I'm not the biggest Gundam Age fan, there's not a lot of people who are, but I just found it really weird that that series is not in it. And it's not that I was expecting it to be in it, but when you just have basically all of AU in this game, it's odd when you leave something out. Like, I understand if there was only a few AU series in this game, but if you look at the size, it's basically everyone, so it's really weird and I don't really understand why. And this made me think further about future DLC that might be announced, because if they had Hathaway's Flash DLC, I could see people buying that. If they put the MS Side Story DLC, yeah, I could see people buy that as well. Even things like Endless Waltz, for example, that seems like something people would purchase, but I feel like it would be pretty hard to sell Gundam Age DLC in this game. It's just from all the Gundam series, I feel like Age would be the weirdest one to hide behind a paywall, just because I don't really think that's the most alluring out of all the Gundam series you could put behind a paywall. And again, I'm not trashing Gundam Age or anything, I decently like it, it's something that seems odd if it was locked behind DLC. And I want to end this video off just talking about things I want to see. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I do want to hold off the gameplay just for later on when I actually get more footage, or maybe get a demo or something just so we can go more into detail. But there's not too many things I want to speculate. First is, I really hope they just don't have 2 off mobile suits. An example would be, for the other Char's counterattack, we're obviously going to get the High Noon and the Nightingale, and that's most likely the only thing that's going to appear in that series, and we expect that. But I just hope that, for example, like Gundam Thunderbolt, we just don't get the Psycho Zaku and the Thunderbolt Gundam. I hope there's more things in that series, and just things in general, not even as playable mobile suits. I would appreciate things appearing as enemies. Example would be I like to see the Nether Gundam, or the Tequila Gundam appear as a one-off enemy. I think having something like that would bring more visual diversity into the game. And I can sit here all day talking about mobile suits I would like to appear, but one thing I would like to see, maybe as something that happens later down the line as DLC, would be SD Gundams. And no, not like this SD Gundam, I'm talking about mobile suits that are originally in the source material SD. Example things would be from SD World, the SD Gundams with pupils, or things like the Night Gundam. Just these SD Gundams that really don't appear in much things besides the source material would actually translate pretty well into this game because they're SD. And it would be a really weird comparison when you have the RX-78 SD, then you just have this much more compact SD that has pupils. I just really like seeing these mobile suits, and they have appeared in other things like the Extreme Versus series. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave down in the comments on things you want to see, what mobile suits you want to see, what's something you would like to see in the future with DLC maybe, or is there something in this game that you're looking forward to or hope that it has. But like usual, Slothcakes here. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll be covering this game when more information comes up, Have a good one and bye bye.